Welcome to part 3 of our Fraser Island Kgari adventure. How to not get bogged at Ngkala Rocks. On our way back from Sandy Cape we came across this four-wheel drive which must have gotten stuck and then been claimed by the tide. There also is an inland detour for Browns Rock that supposedly is fairly soft, but it also goes through the dunes, so I'm not sure whether that's actually an official detour. I was happy to take the rocks to give my slinky long travel suspension another workout. It is a little tricky to find a good time spot to go through Ngkala Rocks northeast. The problem is that there is no common UHF channel and you don't want to collide with an oncoming vehicle, a lot of them really flogging the vehicles to not get stuck. The easiest way we found is waiting for a vehicle coming in the opposite direction and then ask them for their group's UHF channel. That way you can communicate with them and tell them that there will be a vehicle coming north-south. To safely drive Ngkala Rocks without getting stuck, don't be scared to air down more. The correct tire pressure and a little bit of throttle control is really all needed here. While tire pressure depends on your vehicle, tire size, rim size, weight, as a standard rule you can say you can always air down as low as your rim size. So if you have a 16-inch rim you can air down easy to 16 psi. If you have a 17-inch rim, 17 psi. That is just a rough guideline. You usually can go lower, just try to avoid any sudden steering maneuvers. For example, on my vehicle with 35-inch tires on 16-inch rims, I run 15 psi at Ngkala Rocks. While Steve and myself made our way back to catch up with Dave and Handy, they both enjoyed a day at Orchid Beach and had a quite inquisitive dingo.
Put it down, you little bastard. Hey.
Dave and Handy scouted earlier a little river inlet where there was a good spot to go for a swim. The freshwater creek crossing also gave us a good chance to circulate some fresh water under the vehicle and get rid of some of the salt contained in the sand. Afterwards it was time for an ice cream at Orchid Beach. It was quite noisy as they had a rescue helicopter just about to take off. At Orchid Beach you have a bar, a service station where you can fill up fuel, and you also have a small little shop and most importantly ice cream. But first let me quickly show you around the shop. So you will get your basic supplies here, frozen meat, bread and general staples. Obviously that's all at island prices, so don't compare it with the mainland. We camped the night at Waddy Point, which is one of the enclosed campgrounds. Quite good if you camp with children. We were getting up very early in the morning because we were planning again to go to the west coast to Wathumba Beach. It was 6 o'clock in the morning and I really loved that time of the day. Leaving that early also had the advantage that we didn't encounter any oncoming traffic on the inland tracks. Fraser Island has such a varied landscape. Driving through rainforest and then all of a sudden you have a big open swamp, the Wathumba swamp. We arrived at Wathumba Creek at 6:45 in the morning at high tide. As you can see, there's actually not that much space then to park on the beach. However, we were early and we were the first to park there. Hey guys, I'm here at Wathumba Beach on the west coast of Fraser Island and it is an absolutely amazing place. Let me show you around a bit. The tidal changes which you can experience at Platypus Bay are quite dramatic and amazing. So I start showing you the bay at high tide.
I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive, and the time that we share makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong?
It has a few setbacks, so if you intend camping here. I'm standing in a beautiful campground, showers, toilets, but it's completely empty. Why? To my left is a big swampy area, and in the morning and evening the sandflies and mosquitoes are absolutely horrendous. We had to wait till 8:39 in the morning before we could take our long pants off, and even now standing here the mozzies are on constant attack. So that's why that campground is empty, and it's probably not that advisable to camp here. Now let's have a look at Platypus Bay at nearly low tide.
I long for you so much I can find my way. And I saw you walking.
As the drone shots show very well, at low tide it becomes a completely different environment, and you can walk out on the sand for kilometers until you reach the ocean. Between 10 and 11 in the morning it became super busy, and a lot of people actually couldn't get a spot to park on the beach. In the past you could go south via the beach and cross Wathumba Creek. However, that is not longer possible. There are bollards in place, and the river mouth, even at low tide, is far too deep, and you would quite likely lose your vehicle.
You and I are finally here.
As we did not fancy to withstand the onslaught of mosquitoes and sandflies at night, we made our way back towards the east coast. Dave, Steve and Hendy decided to stay another night at Waddy Point, but I wanted something a little bit different, and I decided to find a spot close to the Mahino wreck. That meant I had to negotiate Indian Head again, one of the softer patches of sand on Fraser Island. However, with correct tire pressure and throttle control, it is an easy drive. As it was getting late and the tide was coming in fast, there wasn't too much traffic, and I had the Mahino wreck nearly all by myself. I found myself a good little camp spot for the night right by the beach, and watched a stunning sunset and an even more incredible moonrise. To be honest, probably the best moonrise I've seen in a very long time. After a good night's sleep, I was up with the sparrows, as I had planned quite a few things for my last day on Fraser. Given that Queensland does not have daylight saving, it meant there is first light at around 5:15. So driving along the absolutely deserted beaches at 5:30 in the morning into the sunrise is just absolutely stunning. I arrived at Eli Creek before 6 o'clock in the morning. As I came from the north, I had to cross Eli Creek. That is not recommended at high tide, and I needed to wait a bit and time the waves to do a safe crossing there. The day before, someone drowned his brand new BT50 without a raised air intake. I was absolutely thrilled to have Eli Creek all to myself, at least for a little while. Shortly afterwards, one other lone vehicle arrived, and that was one of the local tour operators. He also went there to fill up his drinking water for the day and get a bit of relaxing time before the big day for him. Eli Creek is spring fed, so the water is perfectly fine to drink. Unfortunately, the water clogged the microphone here, but I'm pretty much saying just to listen to it, to have Eli Creek all to yourself pretty much without any human noise is very, very rare indeed. And I so cherished that time spent here by myself. After spending that awesome time at Eli Creek, I made my way inland towards Lake Garawongera, one of the few accessible lakes I hadn't visited yet. Garawongera means a place of pigeons in the Aborigine language. This perched dune lake is home to quite a lot of bird life. Many lakes on the island are fed by rainwater, which gives them a very high acidity, which is not ideal for many fish species. The Stonetool Sandblow is also worth a view. It's named after the Aborigine artifacts which were found in their area. It rises over 125 meters above sea level and stretches more than 2 kilometers inland. My last scenic stop for this awesome Fraser trip was Lake Wabby. It is a small green-colored freshwater lake which is ejected to the Hammerstone Sandblow. The Sandblow is slowly encroaching into the lake, and at some stage the lake will be gone entirely. It is also the deepest of the 40 perched lakes on Fraser Island. It has historic significance to the Butchulla people and was a man's only area. We're coming to an end of an epic Fraser Island adventure. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. As always, please help me like, subscribe and share. Coming off the beach, it was time to air up again. I used my new JMac PEM Auto 1000. There's a link up the top for a detailed review. My last task was then to visit the Rainbow Beach car wash to give the vehicle a very good underbody wash and try to remove as many remnants of the salt water as possible. Hey guys, all my videos are self-funded. And the advert revenue doesn't even cover one tank of fuel. So if you enjoy my videos, it would be greatly appreciated if you could support me on Patreon. This will also give you early access to most of my videos.